I'll just go in alphabetical order with the introductions.
What is going on, everybody? This is Nazdarachi here, segueing into Pomzor, introducing our next episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. We are live. Audio should be good. Let us know in chat if there's any problems. And Pomzor, go ahead and take the floor.
Hey, thanks, Nas. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of our Dragon Ball Legends podcast. Today's episode 3, a critical Zenkai. And if you haven't done so, make sure that you check out episode 1 and 2 on our YouTube channel as well. We have a new Discord server, by the way, so check the description and join our Discord server if you want to add, hang out with us, hang out with the community. And we have voice chats. We have chats for all sorts of gacha games and a lot of shenanigans, so you would enjoy your time. Don't forget to follow all our creators and us on Twitter, on Twitch. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel and click the thumbs up if you like our podcast. And with that, today we have an illustrious group of people here. We have the infamous Bradical.
What up, dude?
Hey, we have the homie Goresh.
What up, dude?
We have our host for streaming, Nazdarachi.
What's going on, partner?
Hey, howdy doody. What's up, Ndukuba? How are you doing?
What's poppin', bro? How y'all living?
Hey, I am your MC, Pomzor, and I am also joined by Professor Sensei.
Hello.
And Ryuden.
What's going on, everyone?
All right. And before we start off with our topics today, we have a very special deal for you. So if you don't know SmartimusPrime, you need to check out the description. He offers prints from Dragon Ball, and we have a special discount code for you, 59 Gaming. And you can secure your print from SSJ4 Goku and SSJ4 Vegeta for a small discount while also supporting our channel. So make sure that you check that out and secure it now or forever hold your peace. And with that, today we have a couple of topics, most of them kind of revolving around Zenkai Bardock. So we want to obviously talk about him as a unit, but also his teams and his equips. We will talk about those Zenkai missions that were purchasable again. We have the Try to Surpass Me event, the future potential, or not potential, it's in the game, right? So confirmed Extreme Nappa Zenkai. And we wanted to start a discussion on just how we currently see the state of the game post the 2nd anniversary and, how it's going right now. And with that, we're going to start off with Zenkai Bardock. And I heard that Kuba definitely wanted to start because you have a strong opinion. So let's hear it.
Yes. So Zenkai Bardock, one, in a general retrospect, I'm happy that they revitalized this unit because I was just happy in general, when he was, when he was introduced in Legends a long while ago. And it sucked that he got, a power craft, but unfortunately that's just how the game is. But Zenkai Bardock, I think the unit is great. His perk of being able to give whatever attack it is, if I'm not mistaken, Super Saiyan specifically, boost to their crit rate has always been a good ability. But now with him being revitalized to the point where you can actually use him again is great. I've said this on Twitter and on YouTube that it's the return of the crit monster. But the main downside is the fact that though he may be good, the teams that he's on aren't good. I think we're all in agreement about that. I don't know. It's weird because he does buff obviously blue units, Super Saiyans, Saiyans, and I believe that's it. So he does have some versatility, but there are a lot of units that can't really take advantage of what he can do. If you're building a primarily Super Saiyan team, I've seen a lot of people use EX Broly. I haven't personally. I do have the unit, but I haven't leveled him up. I opted to use the transforming Super Vegito, right? Because although he doesn't get the buffs initially when he transforms, of course, he receives all those buffs and it works fairly well. But if you go that route with a lot of the other colored units, for example, if you were to pick, again, your yellow unit as transforming Super Vegito, if you were to use the red unit as the transforming Gotenks, they will do great, but one of their drawbacks is, Gotenks you shouldn't transform him, otherwise you will lose the buffs. And then with Vegito, you have to wait to transform him to actually utilize the buffs. So that's something I don't know. It's kind of back and forth, but apart from that, though, what your main boost unit for that team would probably be what? The yellow Super Vegeta, because he buffs, if I'm not mistaken, blast attack and critical, which is also pretty good. But yeah, apart from all of that, though, good units could have better teams. That's really it. I mean, another thing is the fact that, I mean, I've seen people pairing up with Vegito Blue, which is actually kind of messed up, and I'm actually scared to experience that. But yeah, definitely could be on better teams for sure.
A bit building on what Nanakuba just said. Right now, there's the green movie Goku, but there's not really any crazy Super Saiyans running around. You guys that were worried about Bardock getting a Zenkai, that was during a meta when pretty much every other unit that was relevant was a Super Saiyan. Right now, they're pretty much God Key and everything else under the sun. So he hasn't seen too much gameplay, but his optimal team probably right now is going to be benched, of all things, for the triple Vegetos. But yeah, and then he has actually some pretty interesting items on top of it. But I agree with you. I think he's going to get more use once the other units that are Super Saiyans either get released or get Zenkais.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with, but also backpacking on the idea of him being just a really good example of how a Zenkai should be done. You just take an old unit who had a lot going for him already, and you just bring him to modern standards. He just needed a little bit of buffs, update his stats. Don't give him anything too crazy in terms of his passives. So one of them being time gated is perfect. The other one being similar to how Rage Trunks works is perfect. I think he is a great example of how Zenkai should be done. Make him good, make him usable. Don't make him be the meta-defining unit, though. So I really like him, just like what everyone else said. His team is not 100% flushed out just yet, but when more Super Saiyans inevitably come out, I think you're going to see Bardock climb the ranks in terms of tiers.
Okay, real quick before we progress any further on the discussion, do you guys think it's going to be an Android situation? You think we're going to get like how 16 came out and then all of a sudden it was like 16, 18 Cell and it's like, whoa, we got a team now. Like, you think it's going to be the same kind of thing that fast? Or you think it's going to take a little bit of time?
I think the Super Saiyan tag is so common. All it takes is DBS Broly or any of the old Super Saiyan units to get a buff, and Bardock is right there in the forefront.
I mean, they had that icon thing with the It Goku and the Red Vegeta. I didn't fully buy into that, but since Bardock got this, I'm buying into it a little more than I was for sure. But that's just me.
It would be pretty cool, but I don't know. I think this hasn't been the first time where they've done something unique with the icon, only for it to lead to nothing.
Oh, it's true. You're right, but anyway, okay, so let's keep continuing. My bad. I just wanted to jump in there real quick and address that.
I was going to say just real quick, if we end up getting a Zenkai Broly in the future, I think that'd be kind of clean. But that's just me.
That probably is what's going to happen, since they do kind of linger on tags for a little bit before they shuffle on. So I could anticipate seeing at least one or two more Zenkai Super Saiyans, or maybe another new release Super Saiyan after this Rose hype dies down from his banner to go on.
I think the one thing about Bardock that is like mind-boggling to me, well, not really mind-boggling, but surprising, was the fact that he's buffing blue Saiyans with the Zenkai ability, because the only other Saiyan buffers we have for Zenkais are the red Super Saiyan Goku and purple Vegeta, and both of them, I'm going to be 100% honest, they're not even remotely close to Bardock's level. So the fact that they made him as good as they did, and then they also gave him that Zenkai ability, like that's a big deal, I think. Because whenever we get more Saiyans, like it's going to be like it's a big deal, right?
Well, they left it broad. Blue Saiyan is every main character that's blue going forward, pretty much. Yeah. So that is a great move. I love that.
And the cool thing about that,
I'm just surprised because it's so broad.
If you're running something like LF Namek Goku, they'll get a little bit of edge before they transform, or like the DBS Blue Gogeta. Like say you're doing like blue purple with transforming Super Saiyans. Even before they transform, they'll get a little bit of extra meat on their bones to make it through to they transform.
Actually, does anybody know like how well the synergy is with Zenkai Bardock and Zenkai Kid Trunks, or Teen Trunks, technically, the blue unit?
He's a much better option than running Vegito Blue, in my opinion, just because the way that his buff stacking work makes him play better with the Super Saiyan buffs that Bardock gives out.
I find that the issue with the Bardock team is that it's really squishy, and he can just be benched for the Vegito team. And I know that sounds not very exciting, but Vegito Blue with the Bardock bench hits strong enough to 100-0 pretty much anybody anyways without relying on the criticals. And I think that's unfortunately his best role right now. But if you run him with the EX Broly and the movie Goku, I think actually we're watching footage of that right now. That's probably the best bet if you're trying to go for those fun 100-0s.
All right. So what teams are you all running him with?
GT Goku.
Surprise!
I had to unmute my mic for that one. Now he's actually like it's fun to do that, but I mean it's terrible above like rank like 43, right? Like it's terrible. You get up into those ranks and it's like GT Goku goes down in like 2 shots, but it's a lot of fun to Oko a Vegito Blue with GT Goku. I'll tell you what, if you've never experienced it, it's a different vibe.
The team you're seeing being showcased right now is what I ran as well. I like to use the EX Broly and the movie Goku just because if you get the opportunity to lock in a purple for 2 timer counts with crit buffs, oof, it's over. EX Broly, easily one of the best EXs for sure.
Like I definitely need to run the team with Broly because like I practically run the same team, but I do it with the transforming Vegito literally just because I haven't leveled up that Broly yet. I really haven't had the time, which I'm probably gonna end up doing right now. But yeah, for sure, like that Bardock and the cooler movie Goku for sure.
The thing I like about the Broly, especially paired up with Bardock, is the fact that because you can get lucky with those crits and pretty much just like one-shot any enemy, the fact that you can lock them in means that if you're facing a purple unit and you have this Broly with the crit buffs, like you have a chance to just kill them instantly if they're locked in with Broly. Off of a switch from Bardock. So I feel like that chance to do that just immediately is like really valuable.
Not just that, but like all the meta teams all have some form of cover rescue or cover change, and you don't have to worry about that anymore with Broly. You could just be like, all right, Broly, go ahead, finish him. Doesn't matter if our opponent is he has type advantage if you swap in. Just do a little bit of damage just to finish him out.
Yeah, also especially because that team actually doesn't have that itself. Like as Prof said, it's kind of squishy, and it's mostly offensive. It also doesn't have like, except for Bardock with the cover cut now, it doesn't have a ton of defense as well. So you'll need to be dishing it out quick.
Well, and that expands on what I'm pretty sure it was Ryuden that was saying that it's a balanced Zenkai. Like you're going to see some crazy numbers come from this Bardock, but you can return that kind of damage to him, and I feel like that's what balance should be in this game. You can have fun doing crazy combos, but your opponent can still return it.
I think what I really mean by that is just, if we play with Bardock, we all use him. We think, all right, this guy's a really strong unit. I don't quote unquote fear the meta when I use him, so I'm confident in what he can do. But compare that versus like LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Like if you're in a 1v3 and you have that Zenkai unit, you're like, yeah, I could probably still win. But I don't feel that same way with Bardock. I just think, okay, I still have a decent chance. You know what I mean? It's just how confident you feel in the unit.
Hey, Goresh, how is your Kaioken Goku? The Super Saiyan Kaioken one from
I actually haven't used him, but I know for a fact he's really good with this Bardock because the reason why I like that Kaioken Goku so much is because he's so easy to get a Rising Rush with in like 10 counts. Like he has card draw speed going in, he has reduced cost in his cards. He makes it so that it's very possible to do the same thing that Vegito Blue can do in the first like 15 counts and just, get a combo going. It lasts for like 20 counts, like the one combo. And then you just get a Rising Rush and it's over. Like you just kill you kill one of their characters in like 20 seconds.
And what is it? You're under 50%. You click a green card, you have endurance, right?
And you get more card draw speed, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really, really, really good. I feel like people didn't summon on him though because of PyCon.
Well, people didn't summon on him because they used all the crystals on the main anniversary banners, which makes sense.
Well, that too, yeah.
There are literally almost no Saiyans in the game that have endurance besides with the Z7 Kid Goku, who doesn't work on this team. So at least it gives them some type of utility-based survivability, that Kaioken Goku. I mean, even though there's some stipulations to activating the endurance, like the Saiyans team needs more technical plays like that to really capitalize on the meta.
and then you just get ulted by Gohan and it's all for nothing.
So, okay. True. You still got to be wary of stuff like that, but
oh yeah.
See, I'm interested to see blue, purple with Zenkai Broly, and then the eventual Zenkai Super Saiyan purple Broly.
Yeah, and that put on like an LF Namek Goku Zenkai or Saltman, you'll be beyond good to go. Or IT.
I am patiently waiting for November just for the Broly.
Oh, me too, man. That's going to be one of my vanity units.
Yeah, I think blue purple is what I'm going to be running for a while. It's really a question of who's the purple. Probably could be the transforming Trunks, could be Broly if he gets the Zenkai, being the Dragon Ball Super one. Maybe LF Frieza. People meme it, but I mean, the additional damage and key recovery is really darn good.
Who's memeing it?
And blue card.
Who's meaning
It's
it?
just because there's very little synergy amongst them. They're always like, why on earth are you running Bardock with Frieza? It's kind of funny how they hated each other, all this other stuff. But because his passive is just so good. You could run him on anything, honestly. Him and Turles, I do it for everything.
Yeah, and whoever's memeing it, better don't tell your name because the best boxer is out to get you. So, Prof, I think you wanted to also talk a little bit about his equips, right?
Well, there's 3 items that jump out to me that Bardock has access to. One's actually a Silver Awakening item called Awakened Come On Out Cowards. It's going to give you special move damage, blast damage, and strike attack. It's pretty vanilla in what it does. I just kind of like the stat spread for it. And then, obviously, one of the most popular melee items or Saiyan items is going to be This is Kaioken. So a lot of you probably already have that done. That's just going to be pure strike attack. Not like it's base strike attack, not strike attack. Sorry, I should be a little bit more clear on that. And there's one more that I liked for him called Mind Your Own Business 10-Man. And that's going to be a Saiyan item. That one will actually give him 10% base strike attack. You guys can correct me, but I haven't really seen any other items for Bardock that really jumped out as overpowered for me.
There's the one with, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like Goku looking up. I think it's him.
You're going down?
It's the one where like you need an EX Saiyan.
Yeah, so I thought about that one if you're running him with Bardock squad, but the only
Broly,
EX...
right? EX
Wait,
Broly.
oh, I suppose. Yeah, that would trip it. Yeah, I wasn't connecting those dots. I was thinking Bardock squad. I don't know why I didn't connect those dots, but yeah, that would definitely work with him, and that's going to give you up to, I believe, 11 or 12%.
Strike. Yeah, pure strike too.
Yeah, so that's one of the most powerful items, but you have to run an EX on the field with him.
Yeah,
so
that's the only downside.
So if we get if you have the new, that's a Super Saiyan Goku, right, from the training chamber? I think that would trip it, and that'd be a purple Super Saiyan to run with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, I didn't even consider him. But the only reason why I didn't usually put him on my team for this with this Bardock specifically is because he doesn't buff blue; he buffs purple and red.
Yeah, so that comes back to what we were saying is that the team isn't completely fleshed out for Bardock right now. But I like the Broly because he does synergize with the Bardock, so you can run that item for sure, and then you're going to get near about 20% pure strike attack added to your Bardock.
Get a lot of damage.
Not enough flex save in the world.
Would you say that if you have the Broly, then you'd probably have to keep him at least 6 stars before you could use him? Because the fact that he doesn't even buff blue units until he gets to 6 stars?
No, not really. Like what I've been surprised at, and I don't know how the numbers work in the background, but if you have the right items, I can make a 2-star unit hit as hard as most people's 6 to 9 star units.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to the gear and the bench, in my opinion. And then now, obviously, if you got 2-star all the way across the board, then yeah, your team's going to hit like paper. But if it's just Broly that's at 2-star because you only ran into him a couple times, you should be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So we've heard a lot about Bardock being a really nice Zenkai unit, but his team not being fully fleshed out. You've learned a little bit about what equips some of the people on the podcast use. So you can basically get into that. And I would like to move over to the next topic, which is we got another set of purchasable missions for the Bardock Zenkai. Brad, was that relevant to you at all?
Not to me, but I think we have to look at the bigger picture with those, that it helps a lot of free-to-plays stay really active with it. Because if you had Bardock at you pulled him once or something, you're just really unlucky, you've only been playing for 5-6 months, whatever, it happens, you get him straight up to 7 stars. And I think that is amazing for 2000. It does kind of tell me maybe you should just kind of focus on Zenkais, because now if new banners come out and those get Zenkais eventually, they're just going to give it to you. So I don't know. We'll have to play with it as we go along. But I think it's great. If you have him 14 stars, no, it does nothing for you. It's not worth it because you're only going to get 1 Zenkai out of it for 2,000 crystals. Not worth that unless you want the Z medals. Maybe you're insane. I don't know. But I do think it's great for people who just don't play that much, but they do play a little bit. Boom, you get that unit up there. Same thing, if you only have a 4-star, you go straight to 9 stars. That's amazing. I really think that that's fantastic for 2K Chrono Crystals. Big fan. So the people who are mad that they have a 14-star or a 13-star Bardock, you got to think on what it's doing for the rest of the player base that's not able to have that, and it keeps people playing, and that keeps the game active, and then that keeps content coming out for you for future stuff. At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I think it's great. I know a lot of people are saying maybe it doesn't seem fair. Maybe 2,000 Chrono Crystals is a pretty hefty price tag, but I think just having that option there is really darn good. I mean, I've seen numerous comments where people have said, I wish I could Zenkai this guy, but I only have him at some star count that's below 7. I think having the option to say, hey, here's 2,000 Chrono Crystals, let me be able to Zenkai him and get him to Zenkai 1 is pretty good. I would say it's a fair price being able to do that, because it's not just getting the unit to Zenkai 7, it's also getting him to Zenkai 1. I don't think that's bad. I think that's a pretty good deal if you ask me.
Yeah, it's also providing you with some resources to help you boost the unit too, and they also get some erasers as well. So it's a lot of stuff you're getting for the price tag. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, free to play. Like, how are we supposed to have 2,000 crystals?" Well, I mean, look at all the events they're releasing that have crystals on. Like, they've been super generous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right now, that is
Straight
actually
up.
like the least of your problems. You got crystals coming from the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta event, crystals come from the Goku Black event, the Everyday Hercule crystals, the missions to use Legends Road Trunks X amount of times. Like, there are tons of crystals available in the game right now.
Yeah, I think right now is probably one of the most generous times we've seen them with giving out crystals ever.
Also,
yeah.
I wanted to make sure too, with the Bardock missions in particular, even if you don't have the unit, if you have the crystals, don't you actually get the unit too?
Yes, you do. So if you buy the pack and you don't even own the unit, you will get the unit to 7 stars.
That's even. I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah.
way better.
And plus, it's
True.
also a guaranteed Zenkai level 1. Like, even if you don't have them up to 7 stars, I'm pretty sure the Awakening Z powers still stay locked on that unit. So whenever you do get them up to 7 stars, bam, Zenkai 1 by right out the bat. I think that's a great value.
Yeah. Plus, compared to the kits which were I think locked, right? The missions you had to own at 1 copy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Like, if you just started out and you for some reason have a couple of Super Saiyans to slap on a team, you just get him. 2K Chrono Crystals is also really cheap, because think about how many times you would have to pull on a banner that is not Master's Pack to get him to 7 stars otherwise, right?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
It seems
I think
like they're providing this feature as a way for literal almost brand new players. Like, if you're in the game only 1 to 3 months, you could approach this avenue and have a team that's relatively competent for top 10,000 PvP a lot faster than what we were looking at this previous year in the game. Like, before,
You could even hit top 20, no problem. Top 20K, not even an issue with that kind of team.
Yeah, so it gives newer players a faster in to relevancy in the competitive side of the PvP of this game, which is great, again, for trying to bait in new players and keep them invested, as opposed to them getting frustrated so early on because they can't compete.
Well, I'll tie it back to the one thing that I said where the one problem we always had was that should you focus on Zenkais if new banners are coming out? Now it's a little hard for me to say you should focus on new banners, because if they're just going to give you the Zenkai, again, we got to see what they do with future ones. So I wouldn't just jump in saying, well, yep, I can just now focus only on Zenkais. We're good. No, you're going to need some kind of new units as well to partner with them at decent stars, but you have multi-Z power for that. I don't know, man. This is kind of like a time I never thought we'd see. I mean that with Zenkais, not the entire game, because obviously it should have been free-to-play friendly way more sooner than it is now. But, I didn't think we'd see Zenkais this fast. Because when Toshi said that one time it's not supposed to be for newer players, and I was like, that pretty much means it's always going to be a little bit locked. This kind of goes completely against that, and I'm 100% in.
Yeah,
I
would
mean,
also recommend you keep in mind that there's a lot of fluidity to the system, so I wouldn't necessarily expect this same thing for every single one that comes out, or they might make subtle changes to it here and there, but yeah, this is definitely a very positive step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to get the resources, but that's also not a problem now if you farmed the Ultra Space Time Rush anymore, so you just have to farm the Rising Souls, and I think that was what Toshi was talking about when he said that, it shouldn't be like a day one thing, which you unlock every panel. Because the Zenkai grind was terrible because you only had the adventures, but now it's so much easier.
Yeah, and then
But I
on the
didn't.
weekends, they have the boosted souls thing. Seems like it's permanent for now, so you capitalize on that on the weekends, and you'll be good to go real quick.
That is that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just skip ticketing through my soul stages right now. Like, it is really helpful. Oh, like, you guys don't understand how helpful that is. It's literally, you're getting twice the amount you normally get. Like, that's really good.
Like, it all just comes together like nicely, honestly. Again, like, I'm still shook at the fact that, you know, we're able to like do all this in the game, especially with Bardock right now. Because like I'm sitting back remembering that when I did like my video for Zenkai Bardock, he was at 11 stars, I believe. And then I had like a crap ton of like Master Pack. Actually, no, not a crap ton, like 30 Master Pack 2 tickets. And I summoned on them, and I managed to pull it one more time. And I was like, holy crap, there's this 2000 like crystal pack right here. Like, and then I got them up to 14 stars. It was freaking godlike. Like, I love what they're doing with this, honestly. It's freaking great.
Yeah, it's a great way to. I mean, it won't be free to play for everyone, because some people will still get caught with their pants down and not have the available chrono crystals when the unit that they want gets announced for Zenkai. So some people will inevitably still end up spending, but it's just a much more efficient way to keep more players invested and relevant, competitive in the game, which is that's really good for the health of the player base. So yeah, no complaints from me.
I think one little small tidbit that's a little underrated about the 2000 Chrono Crystal pack is it gives you 1200 Zenkai power. That little extra 200 at least helps guarantee your next 2 multis, should you commit to the unit, will get you to the next Zenkai level. Because I think a couple of us before, you know, first Zenkai multi, even though it gives that 100 bonus, you're like 50 or whatever away from getting a Zenkai 1. You're like, oh, of course this happened to me. So at least it helps guarantee that if you continue to invest into the unit, you can get to Zenkai 2 and 3 a lot easier.
Yeah. So, Prof, I'm curious, by the way, since you're a hybrids main, is that something that you're even interested in at all? Or do you have him at Zenkai level anything?
Well, right now I'm still trying to get a hold of Great Salmon 1 and 2. So I can't use my resource. I would if I could. But it's just the nature of RNG, right? We got to keep throwing ourselves back on that banner until they come home. But I would if I had pulled them right away. I guarantee you, I'd be scooping up that Bardock. In fact, I'd be scooping them up with or without needing the Zenkai, not the Zenkai, the base awakening material. Like if you have them 14 star, because I'm gonna get a bunch of Z medals, but for the erasers and everything alone, I think it's a steal. I'm definitely going for it. It's not the best deal in the world, but as Ryuden pointed out, I actually went for 16. I don't have them Zenkai'd, and I couldn't spend another 1,000 Chrono Crystals, and I didn't want to do singles. So I don't have Zenkai 16, so I'm really happy with this banner change. And I really hope they do this going forward, and I hope when they re-release the old units like Goku and all that, and they revisit them, they drop them with these missions.
That's a good point. I didn't even consider that.
All right, yeah, and I mean also he's going to be useful even for if you want to run some hybrid Super Saiyans just for the fun of it, right? Because I remember at one point I was trying to run the old kids, like the old Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks, and it still kind of worked with the crits.
Well, yeah, the crits will make that work, but it's just not consistent. That's it. Like,
right?
It's fun. It definitely do it for fun. I mean, I would highly recommend you guys run some Super Saiyan teams because when you OHKOing units, it just feels great. Like that kid Trunks taking out like purple Vegito, it's just there's something about it that it's like that feels really good. But you're gonna get bodied in a second after that. But you got to be ready for that.
Your team is literally like a tissue paper holding an AK-47 when you're playing that team,
like a wet towel.
Yeah, so you have all the offense you could possibly want. You got to be on your toes and not making mistakes.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, we have heard the opinions on the Zenkai missions, and it seems that we're pretty much all in agreement that these are a very good, like bang for your buck. They're a very good value. Another thing that just came out, I guess on Wednesday, was the Try to Surpass Me event, so the Vegito Blue event, which ultimately will give out 1,000 Chrono Crystals. And I remember Kuba wanted to jump in on it, so let's hear what you have to say.
Yes. So I would say, hands down, that the Just Try to Surpass Me event is probably the most, how can I put it? It's a great event. It is extremely great. And I mean that in the sense of it's not tedious in order to get a good amount of crystals. right? So for anybody who's like out of the loop or whatever, so practically it's going to be a total of about 8 battles, right? 2 on normal, 2 on hard, 2 on scream, and for the first time ever, 2 on despair difficulty. And we've known about this difficulty for like a year and a half now. Like it's been a very, very long time. But for each battle that you beat, you get 125 crystals for a total of 1,000 crystals once you beat the final despair mission. And it's been relatively simple to go through all those missions and actually beat them. Now, I would say, obviously, in Scream mode, they're level 4,500. They're not difficult. They're just tedious. They're just tedious to defeat, but you can absolutely defeat them no problem. It's a great way to get crystals, like very quickly, fairly efficiently, right? Instead of what it used to be where we'd have to go through like 50 stages to try to get some crystals or whatever the case may be. It's quick, efficient, and effective. I'm all down for this type of format, apart from just the crystals itself, but also because of despair mode. And again, with this being the very first one, I have kind of high hopes. They're kind of leveling out right now, because usually when we had scream mode, we would get units that are usually a few levels above the max. But as we just saw with this event, the max right now is 4,500. So I'm assuming that when we get to despair, it's probably going to be level 5,000. Yes. It is what it is. I just want to make sure that for the very first despair mode difficulty, that it's legitimately challenging. I don't want to go into that and then just have it be like, oh, I just ran through it with practically 1 unit. No, I want an actual challenge with that difficulty. But we will figure that out during daily reset tonight. So, but all in all, if you guys are trying to grind crystals, definitely an effective method. I highly recommend it.
This man is advocating for the full power Frieza event to come back.
Bro, I can't do that one. I can't do that again, dog.
He wants full power Frieza level difficulty to come back.
I didn't say all that.
I hated that.
So I have the event page pulled up on Legend Space right now for the viewers, and looking at the Scream versus Despair, the 2 battles are actually completely identical in terms of the coloration and the enemies that you're fighting. But just for comparison's sake, you're fighting them on Scream at level 4,500, and the Red Goku, for example, has 4.95 million health, so 5 million health. When you then go to challenge it on Despair, that same Goku is level 5,000 with 10.4 million health. So they're probably doubling the health that all of them have, even a little bit more for Goku Black, but roughly double the health. And I'm sure their damage output is going to go up quite significantly also. So
yeah, we should be ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 stages, they were practically the equivalent of them just giving you 750 Chronos in your gift box. But since they just don't want to just hand it out, they had to kind of guise it under an event. So let's see how hard that despair thing actually is, because everybody knows about like float step and stuff like this, where you can cheese the AI. Ooh. And I just saw someone in the chat say, I really want the AI to react to it and not be outsmarted by this anymore.
This is cool. I didn't even know you could click on this for more detailed information. So on the Despair difficulty, Vegito Blue is going to have 830,000 strike attack and 780,000 blast attack.
So you ain't taking a hit. I got you.
Okay, now compare that to... the Scream difficulty is not that much different, though. They're both 650k on both the attacks. So it goes up about 200,000 strike attack going to Despair from Scream, and it goes up like 150k on the blast attack.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a mountain of stats. I think like 1 million strike attack is...
I'm just looking at that stat that says RR block chance, and I'm just like gasping for air. Like, what does that even mean?
Oh god, yeah.
Well, the chance that it guesses your Rising Rush, I think.
Yeah, because the AI does that.
I want that.
And here's like 0.
Oh, 0%. We're good then. No, we're fine.
It's like that AI is really not that intelligent when it comes down to Rising Rush. And again, like, people could just cheese the event and honestly just float step it. Like, it's super easy, but I want a challenge. Okay, forget float step. I'm finna body them. All right, y'all will see.
Yeah, we're waiting for that video, Kuba.
says that now until he gets blue carded to death. Single blue card killing him every single time.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus.
Power
I
Freeze
have a
event.
blue unit and I get
Yeah.
one-shotted by that Vegito, I give up, right? So
Oh,
Or
yeah,
the
Vegito,
green
man.
goalie. Oh my god, infinite green cards, infinite blue cards to chain with him too. Oh, the trauma, man.
PTSD kicking in.
I'm scared.
All right. I suggest we move on. So there's something that was in the game and that was confirmed already, and that completely flew over my head, to be honest. I heard about it from some other YouTube video first, and that is the Extreme Red Nappa getting a Zenkai. Goresh, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this Nappa, it's funny because I believe the last time they did the balance changes, back when they actually just buffed characters like just straight up, this Nappa was the one EX character I was like, please buff this guy, he's terrible. And it's been pretty much a year since then, and we're finally getting a buff for this guy. And the most interesting thing about this guy, there's two things. Number one, he's going to be buffing red EX Saiyans if we just go by what they did with the Raditz, right? Because he buffs blue EX Saiyans, right? So if we just assume that's what he's going to be doing, right? We can just take a look at the list of EX Red Saiyans that are available in the game, and there really aren't that many. So first we have the red EX Vegeta, which is like the one of him like looking to the side, sort of like whatever. Then we have Fasha, EX Fasha. And then lastly we have EX Gogeta. Right? So that's the real big one, in my opinion, the EX Gogeta, right? Again, I don't know if you want to really be running this guy as like a bench unit for specifically Gogeta, just because this brings him to my second point, which his Z ability is actually not really that good, right? His Z ability at 14 stars is 18% of damage inflicted to element yellow. So in my opinion, that's really not that usable or good. So my question is do we ever see a situation where they buff his Z ability or change the Z ability? Because this is sort of like a very early iteration of Dragon Ball Legends Z abilities where they're very specific, and they don't really provide too much help to a lot of what you're trying to do in battle. Because if your opponent brings 0 yellow units, like this is literally doing nothing.
It seems like if they added like 1 or 2 more colors to it, like if it did 20% to damage inflicted against yellow, green, and blue or something.
Yeah, I mean, at least any change, because like right now this Z ability is like unbelievably bad, like probably one of the worst in the game. So I don't know. Is this a scenario where we finally see them changing a Z ability? I don't know. We'll see.
They change it to 18% damage inflicted and 18% less damage taken from yellow. It's perfect. There you go.
I don't even know if anyone remembers this about his kit, but he is specifically meant to be an anti-self-destruct unit. So, like, you want to pair him up against Majin, well, maybe not Majin Vegeta because he's blue, but like Chaozu, I guess, or 16 because he does.
I like how you go
Ultimate Chaozu.
Right? He reduces damage received from self-destructs by 50%, and that cannot be removed. So, if you're up against Android 16, not that that's ever really a game-deciding move, but, I mean, it's something.
Wait, isn't the 16's damage fixed, though?
Yeah, but it'll be reduced by 50% by this Nappa.
But, I mean, this is unstoppable object, unmovable wall.
But it still reduces damage received from self-destructs by 50%. So, whatever 16 does, it's going to knock that off by half.
Unless he kills him twice, then he just kills him once. So it's like, okay.
Wonder if that makes him viable at all. I don't know. I'd have to see. I'd have to test it against 16 to like know.
Yeah. I mean,
16 does a lot of damage. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that they're just going to people mostly going to run him as bench for red extreme. So like X Gogeta, for example, or I don't know any other, maybe Whis. At least you could try it out.
I think this is going to make that purple scouter Vegeta finally be able to use his passive.
What's that? The passive?
Doesn't he have a bonus for working with Nappa? The Zenkai Vegeta?
I do believe so, yeah.
Like, his kit was so specific. And at first I was thinking, you run the movie Nappa with him to try to trigger
young
that.
Nappa.
But now it looks like you can run this EX Nappa with him and try to bring him to the forefront. I say try. We don't want to know what his kit is, and that unit was obviously a little lackluster.
The Nappa will help round that Vegeta out a little bit too, because he buffs 20% to strike damage. The Vegeta's a blast unit, so whatever strike he's lacking, this Nappa will help a little bit. It's kind of like an off-meta buff for that Vegeta, but...
Well, if they make him like a support unit and specifically for like Saiyan Saga Saiyans, that would be really cool.
Yeah, but that Nappa, he buffs himself, right? Says
He buffs his own strike
damage
attack for 20 counts, and that's it. And
no,
that's
but on
like,
his
as a point
on his
unit.
team Vegeta passive says 20% to strike damage inflicted when Vegeta is a battle member,
Yeah,
but that's
so he'll have
still
that
to
buff
himself, right?
permanently, yeah, for him. Oh yeah, so it's not going to buff the Vegeta; it only buffs him. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the Vegeta has a unique that buffs himself when Nappa's a battle member.
Yeah, they basically do that for each other themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, the power of love.
I don't know if you remember how that ended, or I don't. You say the power of love.
Yeah.
Their relationship didn't end very well. I don't know if you remember that or not. But
Yeah, doesn't matter. It was a very special kind of love.
I get that. I can agree with that one.
It's like a love-hate relationship, and then one side got a little bit too strong.
You like really hate.
But okay, I guess we digress a little bit. But Ryuden brought up an interesting discussion point, so we're going to move on, which is basically talking about how we see the state of the game post second anniversary. And since you brought it up, Ryuden, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we're all in agreement where, a little bit after the second year anniversary, when the hype for the new units sort of settled down, we realized there's a lot of like difficult things going on at once. We were thrust in a really oppressive meta with all the new units. We were getting Zenkai after Zenkai after Zenkai. There were no new events in sight, tons of new banners, which we found very odd. And we were all saying that, it's not a very good look for the game. But now, a couple months after, it looks like the game is doing much, much better. All the recent updates have been fantastic. A lot of quality of life changes we can all agree with. And I feel like it's fair to say that the game is in a much healthier position now. I think we can all agree that perhaps, the second anniversary came at a pretty difficult time, where something hit the fan. And now things are looking a little bit better. Perhaps they're on the other half of adjusting to the situation that we're seeing globally. And perhaps things are going to be, it's a new chapter and things are getting better. I think we're seeing much more CC coming around. We're seeing Zenkais come a little less frequently, which is great. We're seeing these updates that are allowing us to farm new resources, get Zenkai souls, the things that we all were very public about with saying that we needed help with. So from my perspective, I think the game has turned a new chapter and it's very healthy right now. I think things are looking pretty good. I think everybody is relatively happy. Obviously, meta teams are always difficult to deal with, but I think it's looking better. And I feel like, does anyone else here share the same sentiment? I think it's looking pretty good so far.
I definitely agree. Especially when you lump in how much Chrono Crystals they're giving away for the more budget players. You add that in there too, and the game's in a really great spot right now. But if you look at PvP, it seems like the player base is down a little bit. But that also could just be because it is September and there's a lot of transitional stuff going on in the year right now. So.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned PvP. One of my things that a couple like weeks ago, we were constantly talking about how we wanted Rising Rush on a cap, and it feels like they've gone the opposite direction and just made sure every team has access to a one-turn Rising Rush, or at least a one combo kill. But I do like how they've given flavor to a bunch of teams. There's a bunch of options for you. It's not just Future or Fusions, which is pretty much the exact same team. So it's not as monotone, if you would. So I'm pretty happy with that right now. But I do want to see it kind of shift to more of a defensive meta here in the future.
Yeah, exactly that. We saw that for a couple months then. It was nothing but Future or Godkey, which, like Prof said, are basically the same flavor. They're basically the same team. But now we're seeing a lot of variety. I see a lot of Android teams. I see hybrids for sure. I see Super Saiyans now, which is awesome. Kind of reminds me of around the time when the Super Saiyan 4 units came out. That was a pretty healthy meta, so I'm just happy to see some diversity. So even the PvP scene is looking a little bit more fresh. Even PvE, now that we're seeing the release of some new difficulties, I think maybe things are gonna start turning up for some rather cool excitement.
I've been saying for a while now that I personally feel that the meta, the state of the meta and how healthy it was, started to shift either around when Zenkai 16, it was either 16 Gohan or even 18, right? Because I noticed at that point a lot of people started using different teams as well, like that was already said. But I mean, also we got like Majin Vegeta and all that stuff. So again, like it's good to see more than just Future Fusion or God Key like on PvP all the time. Like there's diversity. Again, like I was still surprised when I saw people rub like Vegeta family or Sun family or whatever the case may be. Just like diversity is always a good thing. So long as it's not stagnant and monotonous with the same like 2 or 3 teams all the time, I'm all for it. Like this is definitely a much, much healthier state than it was a few months ago.
What do you think, Arash?
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, look, the second anniversary I think left a bad taste in people's mouths, right? Because there's just didn't have as much stuff as we'd hoped for. It's kind of dry, et cetera, et cetera. The period after the anniversary is also sort of similar, and it felt like they were sort of just trying to play catch up in a way because 3 Zenkais within a 7-day period is not exactly normal. So they did that. They released a lot of banners back to back. There's a lot of stuff going on. Seemed really out of whack for a little bit, but now it seems like they're trying to stick to a schedule that they've established. And I don't know. It sounds like they're trying to get back onto what the track was before all this stuff happened. So it sounds like they're definitely doing much better now in terms of crystals are giving out, events that are releasing, much more streamlined schedule of events happening right now. So I think I agree with everyone else.
Well, we just have to look at the big picture. Sorry, Bob, I won't be very long. We just have to look at the big picture stuff, and like little improvements build up over time, and that's what we're finally seeing. Is all these little tiny things that they've been doing, and a couple big ones chucked in there. Now it's like, this feels totally different than it did during the anniversary. At least I do. Like just playing the game in general just feels different. It's more smooth, like you said. It loads faster, which didn't seem like it'd be a big deal, but I actually really care about it loading faster. I'll tell you what. Same thing with it didn't seem like it would matter, but it's like those little tiny things, they really matter. And I think it shows that they're giving a crap. I think they gave a crap the entire time, but some things just did not match up with their budget and what we wanted and everything. But hey, it's all building up to a good thing, and I'm here for it, so I'm down. Go ahead, Props. My bad.
I was about to say, like, there's a joke in the community about Bandai Spy on the Reddit, and all the videos, but it really does feel like Bandai Spy is out there for us right now. They've been dropping patch after patch that seems to constantly be improving the game, and now that the dust is settled, we got a bunch of Zenkais, but the result of that is now we have a bunch of really beefy teams. I gotta say, in all retrospect, I'm pretty happy with what they've done, and I can't find a single thing to complain about other than that silly quest glitch we had a week ago.
It helps having the Bandai Spy in the podcast. That does help too. But
they confirm that he actually exists a number of video and stuff videos ago. I'm pretty sure they said like, we checked what the community's doing kind of thing. Didn't we all joke that he confirmed it?
Well,
I think it is
said that multiple times. Like,
he's really
he
here.
even said like he browses Reddit, but he refuses to comment because he knows that he would get destroyed.
Yeah, the spy is on Reddit, probably across YouTube, on Twitter, maybe in this chat, maybe maybe anywhere.
Maybe in your home.
Well, if Bandai
maybe
Spy
talking
is here,
right now.
Bandai Spy is here. I'm just gonna say, LOE buffs when?
You're an imposter right now.
Your LOE buffs are going to come in the format of the Trio to Dangers banner later this month. That's your LOE buffs.
Oh, yeah. Whenever that's coming out.
Buff Rival Universe and LOE.
What?
Yeah.
And then also dogs.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. That'd be funny. Animal, like Dragon Ball animals. They buff that tag. I mean, I'm down, dude. I want dumb stuff in the game. I really do. I want like everything to not be taken so seriously. We all joke about like farm with a shotgun and stuff, but I would absolutely love just a stupid unit like that. You gave us Hercule, it's busted. Like you may as well do that. Like
give him the Super Warrior tag in like quotations.
I still stand to this very day that for for April Fools next year, for the love of God, please give us an LF Cyberman. Please. It's the only day where you can give us a garbage unit and it will be okay. Please give us
dude, legit, they need to take advantage of that. I agree with you 100%.
I think they're just going to re-release PyCon on that day.
Oh wow.
Still waiting for Super Saiyan Hercule. Get those buffs from Bardock.
Oof.
That's perfect right there. Paralyzes and crits.
That'd be nasty, bro.
Please don't.
I mean, I want to watch a video on it though, Gresh. If it happens, you're gonna have to make that first day.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to do another 60,000 crystals to get all 3 of those Trio to Dangers up to like 9-star.
Yeah. Mm.
If LF Frieza's there.
Did you only go 60 in for LF Frieza? I thought you went in further.
No.
I was like, pretty sure you went further than that.
I mean, we're getting close to Halloween. Is there like an LF they're going to drop a trio, or are we just going to get them in on Wednesday this week?
Well,
Japan doesn't normally. Oh, go ahead.
Well, okay. I think they're going to do something for Halloween. Did they do one last year? I don't remember.
Not really.
No.
Well, they did the Boo Candy thing, right? That was
that's about it.
Dude, Vegito candy. That's what we're getting. We're getting candy Vegito.
Halloween is not something that I've seen the Japanese people ever go like super crazy for. They just wait till Black Friday.
Halloween is not. I mean, but that's true. But I don't think that stops them from doing it.
Well, we got Trio and Halloween in 2 weeks, and no new LF in a while. I feel like
maybe we could.
cooking.
Well, or maybe we could get like a free Ghostings.
I think the next 2 big times for units to release this year are Black Friday, and then New Year's. Right? Those are the 2 big times we have left for this year.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see any LFs other than those times, and they might not even be LFs both of those times, because remember last year for New Year's we didn't get an LF, we just got the Super Saiyan 4s, which was honestly like one of the best step-ups they've ever done, because there weren't any new LFs, and I really like that a lot, because I don't personally like LFs because the pull rates are just way too low. But for Black Friday, I definitely think we could be seeing something like big for that. So
Wonder what it'll be without Goku Black. Because that was kind of what everybody was thinking. I wonder what they're gonna do.
Another one.
I mean, it's totally. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it's totally possible. Dog. Future's on a rampage, so.
I mean, they do still have the end of the Future Saga left with the Spirit Sword Trunks.
That's what I was about to say. I would say they're pushing more towards that direction with the corrupted merge Zamasu, or maybe like a transforming divine fuse Zamasu into the corrupted form, and then the Rage of Sword of Hope LF Trunks. Yeah.
And Xeno.
Do we still have Renzi data mined an image for an item that you can like farm? That's the Zeno button. We still haven't seen that in the game. That was data mined on like day 1 of the game coming out too.
Huh. That's what they show us when they shut the game down. It's like, here's this button. Goodbye, everyone.
That's the only counter to Vegito Blue. Was that button?
There you go.
I don't think they're gonna do another Goku Black. If they do another Goku Black for Black Friday, I honestly think it would be one of the combo assist units with like Rose and Zamasu together. Like, I
would be beyond shocked if they did another one so soon. I don't think there's any way that happens.
Yeah, that's why if it was gonna be any one, because they wouldn't do like the next Rose that comes out. I would put my money on him being a Legends Limited unit that has the Scythe, the clones, like little dimensional tear. And I would definitely not say they're going to railroad that one up this close to them releasing this transforming one. So
I agree.
It would have to be the combo support unit, or they just forget about Goku Black for a little bit and focus on the Trunks and the Zamasu fusion.
I mean, GT needs to help more than Super does. Like, let's be honest here.
For sure. It does, but besides Shadow Dragon stuff, like, what else relevant could they add from GT right now?
Almost nothing.
No, they've touched on everything. Yeah. It's really small too. So,
well, when I say relevant, I mean not only what would be good for the team, but also what would they think would sell a banner and be worth pushing into the game.
GT. Professor just said Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. That's really the only thing left, unless they want to do a transforming Goku and transforming Vegeta into Super Saiyan 4. That's the only other thing I could think of.
Like the Super Saiyan 3 kid Goku into Super Saiyan 4?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, I'd like that.
They still have options for sure.
That, and they could do like a... Oh, man. Like, how would they work, like, a Hellfighter 17 and a regular 17 combo assist unit that have a main ability that transforms them into Super 17?
You just hit the main ability and they go ha ha ha, and then go
Super 17. I think the game's ready for something that, like...
Actually, whoa, that would be kind of cool. Because, they would, or at least how I would think, they would just be an assist unit, right?
Mhm.
And then, however they decide to implement that is however they implement it. And then, you activate your main ability. They get side by side, move together like how they did in the anime, turn to Super 17. Holy crap, wait, yo.
With like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It either transforms or transforms into Super Saiyan 3. That'd be kind of good, actually.
That's a good idea. I like that a lot. I think you're on the money with something.
Why do you like that?
I just came up with that off the cuff, too,
Like-
so. Y'all remember that
teasing
in the chat.
in the future?
I don't know.
They could also.
we were saying there's nothing for GT. We just discovered like 5 new units they could make easily.
Yeah.
We'll take our money now.
Yeah, legit.
Toshi, if you're in the chat, I want my watermark on that card art.
Well, I mean, they haven't done all the forms of Rildo yet, so I mean, I don't know about y'all.
I'm so excited for Rildo.
Oh, dude,
Please.
Rildo's
Oh, yeah.
hype, dog. Like he's like.
I want him.
Can you imagine if they Zenkai did?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like Dragon Ball GT, but for me, Dragon Ball GT starts after episode 26. So
I don't think that's just you. I think that's everybody. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that after the Black Star Dragon Ball saga?
yeah,
Well, dude, freaking-
episode 26 is where that wraps up, and it goes into the baby stuff.
well, dude, GT, the stuff that's good in GT is so good. But the stuff that's bad, it's like, whew, that's cringe, dog.
Everyone always in the chat, people keep mentioning Oob and Majub, who's a great character.
Yeah.
But do you think he would sell super well?
Well, okay, we definitely need him in the game, right? There's 0 Oob characters right now in the game. They need to at least throw, the regular Oob and
Kitty
then
Oob.
a Majub, or a transforming one, either one.
Agreed. He needs
Wait,
some
Oob-
representation.
Dragon Ball Z, right? Yeah, like Oob will be Dragon Ball Z and Maju would be GT.
Well, there's Oob, like, Kid, who's Dragon Ball Z, and then there's Oob Teen, who's GT.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and also piggybacking on what we said earlier, I was thinking about what about if they implemented a mechanic similar to the Dokkan exchange mechanic, where if you hit the main ability, I don't know, you have, for example, like Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, and then you start playing with Great Saiyaman like 2, and then you hit the main ability on 430 counts, they switch places, for example.
That would be kind of cool.
Something else that I just thought of, which could go in multiple directions, right? But we're still missing the second ascension of Baby, where he's got the big wingtips on his shoulders. And that also
Super Baby.
leads into we don't have a transforming Baby at all. So
But
they could theoretically do, and I don't know if they're going to do this, but they could do like a double transforming unit where it's, base form GT, Baby Vegeta, then it goes to the Ascension, and then it goes to Super Baby 2 or something. I don't know how they would do that.
If you do that, though, like, okay, because Baby Vegeta would probably have to be, like, mediocre, and that's, like, stretching a bit. And then when he transforms into Super Baby, then he'd be, obviously stronger than Super Baby 2. He'd be as strong as he could be, but I don't know if a lot of people would really be down for like trying to transform a unit twice before they can really utilize like a main ability, which would probably be like an ultimate attack or
man, what if it was a transforming unit and the endurance 2.0, like the Cell, like he dies, comes back, then he can transform or something. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
that
could go
would
nuts
that
with
would
that.
be wild.
I mean, they can try it out, right? I mean, in the end, we've seen them experiment with a lot of things. So why not try it out and see, how it actually plays out? Or maybe they can just do internal testing for it and just see how the gameplay feels and have some people just, test it and see if it makes sense or if it's not really viable because, I don't know, you can only use them after 30 counts, which is when everyone else already got their ult off.
Yeah.
Just give it a try.
We need GT Hercule too. We need that as well.
I just won GT Goten. Please look, I've wanted him in a Dragon Ball game for so long. Please just add him. Wasn't his voice actor like one of the CACs in Ultimate Tenkaichi? Just add him in the game already, please.
I mean, I'm down, dude. Freaking hybrids buff. I'm in.
Oh, what?
I mean,
What?
like, we have the GT.
They ain't doing that good right now. So
with
If
his
we have
little
GT
scarf.
Trunks, just add GT Goten, please.
Maybe. I mean, Dokkan has them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe eventually at the 7-year anniversary, if we live to see that, we can get him as like a support unit.
LF GT Goten.
Could you
Great
imagine?
support.
Does he even have like a full sequence where he actually fights in GT? Like,
When he fought Baby.
Yeah, but that's like
he
how
throws
long
like
is
one
that?
or
you
two
just go on a
punches.
date. His main ability
Yeah.
is you go on a date with a girl. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
he just calls someone.
That was the drip god.
I ain't fighting, dude. I like the story they went with friggin' Goten and GT. It was very different, and I'm down for it for sure. Like,
Or kind of similar, like Bulma, his green card is going to be him going on the phone and then just jumping out of the out of the scene, and just your next character just swapping in.
Yo, no, his victory screen. Yo, his victory screen. He picks up the phone and gets back on it and keeps on talking to the girl. Yeah.
Bro, I'm actually down, dog. I'm actually down.
All right, I think we digress a little bit. So before we go on break, again, now is a good time to check out the description. Follow all our creators on their Twitters to find out when they go live, where they stream, where they put out their videos. And again, don't forget to check out Smartimus Prime's Etsy store to grab your copy of your print for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta or Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Use the code 59gaming, and you will support the channel as well as getting 10% off. Follow 59gaming on Twitter and Twitch, as well as subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so, in order to help us out, get us exposed, and make our channel grow a little bit. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll go into questions. So we'll be right back.
Yeah, I just want to also push that every time you guys purchase from Smartimus here, not only are you supporting him, he's an amazing artist, one of my friends, but you're really helping us out as well. Like, we're not pushing this to try and be selfish. We're just trying to invest everything in the channel and provide a better experience for y'all. So the more we can get stuff like this going, the bigger we can start steamrolling. It's going to be better for everyone. Not only us, but you, the viewers, are going to get a lot of benefits from that too. So if you were planning on purchasing an amazing piece of wall art, these are not the only two that Smartimus Prime has. He's got many different editions, tons of different characters, Dragon Ball Super, GT, Z, even some stuff from other animes like JoJo and stuff. So if you could check him out, we would really appreciate that, you guys. It would definitely help out. And you get some really banging looking art too. So, yep, but I'm going to show it off for a little bit, and we're going to take a break, just like Pomzor said. And we're back and we're good to go. Take the floor, Palm.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you use the break, not just get yourself a cold drink, but also to check out those SmartimusPrime prints. And we are now moving on to the Twitter questions. And if you want to be one of those that gets their question discussed on the podcast, make sure to follow us over on Twitter at 59gaming1. And we will post a thread a couple of days prior to the podcast where you can post your questions, and then we'll pick a couple of them. And the first question today is, would you consider the new units on par with Zenkai's in regards to stats?
Some of them yes, some of them no. Like, I am of the strict mentality that they are philosophizing their release schedule in this game with some units are going to be inherently more valuable than others, and some are going to be a little bit less valuable, and that helps kind of establish an ecosystem in the game where, you know, I kind of reference it back to like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or something like that. Like, the devs or the creators of those card games literally will come out and tell you that they have to design some cards intentionally to be terrible. So that way it adds a diversity to the pool. I don't know, it's kind of like a duality thing. Like, without good, there's no bad. Without bad, there's no good. So if every single unit in the game was ridiculously good, then it would just make for a really weird in-game hemisphere. So I do think that some of the brand new units coming out are exceptional. Like, of course, the Cell with his Endurance 2.0. And not every single one of them, though, is going to be quite on that level. And that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like when we're seeing real quick that these Zenkais coming out, that they're using these Zenkais to help define the new units that come out. Like, Goku Black doesn't need anybody's help, right? The new one that is to take out a unit. But you pair him up with his, you know, the other surrounding Zenkais, and he's incredible. And I think that's what they're going with right now.
Yeah, I don't know if their original intention was to make Zenkais just better than the new units. I don't think that's what they were going for. Just because, you know, the incentive that they have for people is they want you to summon for new units, because that's going to make them more money in the long run, as opposed to just going for the Zenkai units. So I think their original intention was to make the Zenkai units just on par with the new units, not necessarily better. So I think, yeah, on par is good. But I don't know. Like, you take a look at the new Bardock. Like, is the new Bardock better than Goku Black? I would probably say no, right? So I think in that regard, the Bardock's power level is pretty much what I think we're probably going to see moving forward in terms of Zenkai units. I don't know if, like, Zenkai 18 was their intention for her to be that good, right?
I think
that's what I'm saying. I think some of them are going to just be inherently better, and that might go hand in hand with some, like, community popularity. Like, units that are more popular might get a little bit more love, or it might go hand in hand with units that could be really great for the meta, but are just really, really bad, like Android 18 was. And they just did a complete 180 with her. Meanwhile, Bardock was still arguably pretty good for the intentions of his kit, you know, not the unit by himself. So his Zenkai wasn't quite as overwhelming because, I mean, he was already pretty good in terms of his function on the team and what he did. So, like, I don't know. I think there's multiple factors that go in, and I do think that some are just going to be way better than others, just at face value by design. But
well, I think we're at a point now in the game where it all comes down to team and everything. That's why Goku Black is so amazing. Like, if Future was even any less than it is now, I don't think he would be as wild. And Bardock, obviously, we've already discussed, he suffers from that massively. But I kind of agree that I would say, yeah, they're on par with it. I don't think they're way under. Like, I was a little nervous whenever we saw that Bardock was going to be way cheaper. I was like, is he going to be, like, terrible now? No, he's fine. Like, it was the same issue we had with Trunks. We thought it was going to be with Trunks, too, whenever they changed the system. It's like, are they going to nerf him? It doesn't seem like it, but I also don't think... it's weird, because some of them are so good. Like, you look at 18, and it's like, why is she so monstrous? And then you look at, like, Red Trunks, and it's like, yeah, he's good for Gohan now, but before that, he was just okay. You know, it wasn't, like, anything amazing. Zenkais are hard to predict, because it's really 50-50. I think Bardock's a weird one to compare, because he's meant to help other people on his team, not just him. Like, he's half support, half damage, right? Like, he can do a lot of damage, but he's meant to make others... That's why Holy Trinity was so crazy. That's the only reason, is because of the crits and everything. So
should also specify that Legends Limited Zenkais are not included in this question here.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No beers, no Gohan, because obviously they're ridiculous.
All right, Prof, I think you wanted to just say something, right?
Well, I mean, I know it's up for discussion. I personally think Red Trunks is one of the most underrated units in the game. I think he's one of the most powerful just for the damage I've dealt with him and what he brings to my team specifically. Kind of like a Goten situation that he's a part of the whole, and I think the community didn't really receive him the correct way. And I think he also came out during Vegito Blue. But one of the things that happened is I believe he was the first unit. He might have been the second, but I think he was the first unit to receive the treatment where you get 7,000 Chrono Crystals to finish them.
Yep.
And the community saw his kit and immediately thought, this is how they're doing it. The Zenkais are no longer going to be as powerful, right? And I think some people are getting that sentiment right now with this Bardock, since they made him so accessible that, they kind of nerfed him. But again, back to our previous discussion, guys that are fans of Bardock and you're getting this kind of underwhelming vibe from him, just wait until the Super Saiyan gets a Zenkai and you'll see this kit shine.
Gonna be stupid. I agree with you 100%. The Trunks just came out at a weird time. 100%. I think he is a good unit, but I think number one, he's very defensive, at least in my opinion. Maybe he is very offensive for you. I don't use hybrids too much, and I also only have a Z3. But he definitely, that Vegito Blue era ruined him on launch for sure, because everybody was like, "Oh, he's red, bro. This is not what we need right now." And then obviously Gohan came out right after and took that spot on the team. Anyways, he's a bench, but still. So I agree with you 100%.
Like, I play him on red, green quite a lot, even if I face Vegito Blue. Like, I play him with Gohan and the new Trunks. And, he's really good defensively, so that helps. And then he has the heal on switch out, and that's mainly what I'm using him for.
Yeah, he makes it into about a third, if not half, of my fights.
Yeah. All right, so I guess before this goes into a Trunks discussion, let's move on to the next question. And that is, that question comes from Shablam. Do you think hype in Legends is different than Dokkan? So it goes mostly to the people who play both, I guess. Would a character like Jiren be more hype in Legends than Dokkan, or is it relatively the same?
I think at face value, it's relatively the same, just based on the fan base. Like, overall, there'll be trends where you'll notice, like, a majority of the fan base is going to gravitate to something like MUI Goku or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta compared to, like the Trio de Dangers. But it also is a little bit different, and Legends and Dokkan might share this similarly but different, but it's also based around team builds too, where like a unit might launch in Legends that is extremely complementary to a really good team, whereas in Dokkan that unit was just, a filler unit or underwhelming, or just relatively not used. So like, I don't know, an example I could think of that would be, obviously we're rewinding time a lot, but like when Rildo launched in Legends, he was actually pretty usable, and his kit was fairly hype at the time for his destruction of endurance, which was quite annoying at the time, and he was the first unit to be able to do that. I don't know if Rildo ever had a moment in Dokkan where he was ever like desirable for even a week. So I can't speak on that, but I think at face value the hype is going to be similar, but then each game's like individual metas will also have an effect on that.
Yeah, I think building off of what Nas just said, as someone who plays both games a lot, I think it's really difficult to just take one character and be like, okay, would this character be more hype in Dokkan or more hype in Legends? It's like you have to consider what does the development team do with the character, and that's going to determine how hype they are in each respective game. So like for Legends specifically, I think it's way more important that Legends give the character a like good usable kit. Right, and Dokkan, it's also important for them to do that as well. But it's more important in Dokkan for them to just make sure the animations and everything is on par, because most of the hype from that game comes from, okay, how cool does this character look, right? Whereas in Legends, as long as the character is like really good, they don't necessarily have to look really cool for the people to want them as much.
Yeah, or have like a good mechanic.
Well, one of my friends that plays Legends with me became a big Piccolo fan because he enjoys LF Piccolo so much. He hated the character before him, but then he loved using him from the kid alone.
Piccolo?
Well, he didn't care for him, but then he started loving him because of it.
I can deal with that.
And then now he's like, wow, Piccolo.
So it's kind of like people love Vegito until Vegito Blue came out in Legends.
Reverse syndrome.
I hate Vegito.
You'll still summon for him though.
Not wrong.
Yep. I mean, that's all that counts, right? All right, let's move on to the next question. This one's by Frieza Tardio. How do you guys feel about a unit with multiple LFs? Like a strike card leads to a pummeling LF, a blast card may lead to something else. Blue and Ultimate have different ones. I think it would be dope for something like UI Goku or Blue Gogeta. What do you think?
If they're willing to put the development time into that, you can best believe that it's going to be a super premium unit. If it's going to have multiple different LF animations, like, I would agree with Palm in the sense that, yeah, it's going to be something like MUI Goku or like a titular, like, franchise leading character like Goku, Vegeta, you know, one of the main cast and crew. Or, alternatively, if they ever do pursue the route of, like, another rarity above sparking, that would be something I could see they would do for that.
I would really like them to do canon endings. So, like, if you happen to land Gohan versus Cell or whatever, they have voice lines or animations for the ending, not so much leading off a blast or something.
Kind of
So
like
dramatic
Dragon Ball
finish from
Fighters with the
Pretty much, yeah.
cinematic finishes.
If you land Goku's LF versus Pod Frieza, he should have a cocky line or something fun.
What do you think, Kuba?
Good insight.
Okay.
Wise words.
I guess that pretty much sums it up.
No, that'd be
Right.
sick, of course. But you have to take into account, like, this is a mobile phone game and, like, how much it would be on your phone. Like, the amount of space it would take up, the amount of resources. So, if we ever want that, you guys got to spend some money on Legends. That's just how it's going to be, all right?
That's
No more
yeah.
free-to-plays. Like, you guys got to start dropping them dollars if you guys want those kind of units.
With phones
That's
like
how it
the,
is.
the Note 20 Ultra and stuff out now, and that's, I mean, obviously they're going to include some of the older models for just accessibility, but game developers are most likely going to start, you know, targeting the higher end phones with their, you know, baseline stats for how their games are going to run and stuff. I would say that the capability is there, but the level of effort on the developer's part is going to gate that behind a really premium unit.
How do you give a premium than 0.25%? 0.1?
I mean, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that. Like, or
Like-
it's going to be, you know,
Just add another 0 after the point.
I'm good.
Oh,
Koresh
man.
loves the zeros.
All right,
All
what
right.
else we got?
All right, the next question is from Shavar, and he's asking, what are everyone's favorite teams to run now that the meta is a bit more diverse? And which specific unit makes you want to run those teams?
Like LL Gohan because he wins the fight.
Fair.
That's always going to be your answer, even on year 5, bro. There's no, we know.
It doesn't
Hybrids
change
for
to
life.
somebody else.
So
for-
my
okay.
favorite build right now, it's not even just a build, it's just a pair of two characters, is the new Goku Black and Whis. Because the way that those two interact is like insanely fun. Because the fact that Goku Black gets key and a buff every time he draws a card, and his green card makes him draw cards, and Whis obviously holds a green card, it makes it so that you can just spam green cards and just like get key back infinitely and draw like a bajillion cards and just get so strong with him. So I think that interaction I really like a lot.
I've seen actually people using Goku Black with Whis and Dabura or something like crazy like that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But
And then you have your Goku Black get Rising Rush, and then you lose.
Nah, come on. Deborah turns it around. So what about you, Ryuden?
It should be obvious. I've still been farting around with my Saiyan team for obvious reasons until I get another. It's either Saiyans or Sun Family for. I don't even need to explain it. You know why? I use pretty much the same team just for my boy. That's why. Until they release another, Super Saiyan 3 on wherever, like maybe movies, it's just going to be this.
For me, it's
So
definitely...
Kuba, what are you running?
Wait, what happened?
So we're just at questions, and basically what's your favorite team to run in the meta right now, and what unit makes you want to run that team?
Definitely androids, and the reason is, I mean, ironically, Android 18. You know what I'm saying? Apart from her being a waifu, you know what I'm saying? I just love the fact that she's able to deal like really good strike damage. And pair her up with obviously the reviving Cell as well, and Zenkai 16, kind of up there, but still like it's been really fun just using a different team apart from like the main 3 that we always talk about. So
Yeah.
All right, Nas, you wanted to say something, and then we.
I was going to agree with him. I'd say the same thing. Basically, Androids has been a hidden gem because they were such a Garbo team before, and I picked a hill to die on, saying Android 16's defense was good, and I got flamed for it on Reddit for like 4 or 5 months over it. And now, like, everything is back to the way it should be with androids. They are amazing now. So my initial statement stands the test of time. Also, I'm really enjoying, just like Goresh said, maybe not specifically with Whis because I haven't tried that, but just any random build that can incorporate this new Goku Black. He's been a lot of fun to use just because not only does he counter obnoxious blue units, but his kit is just pretty overwhelmingly fun.
Well, I think I'll jump in real quick and then we'll move on just to give my team. So with the problem is my two teams don't really like Super Saiyans are not meta, but they're the most fun to play for me. But if I'm using meta, it's got to be the Vegeta family or they're okay with a 2-star Majin Vegeta. It's a little rough, but definitely probably Future, and it sucks because I hate using Future. But if you really want a competitively viable team, like they're like top 3, top 5, like so probably Future, sadly. But my most fun team is Super Saiyans for sure.
All right. So the next question is from Aaron Frere, and he's asking, for players who don't put much money into the game at this, what should we do with our CC? Summon on a step up, use them for a Zenkai and LF? And if so, which one? 18 or the Bardock, or should we save?
I think this is all going to go back to the whole, you got to be really specific with what you want to do with it. I feel like if you're free to play or a very, very light spender, you should be focusing on 1 or 2 teams. It shouldn't be you want to try to get everything. And I know it might be rude to say, but it's just realistic in terms of you can either shoot your shot and try to get everything and then we'll end up with nothing, or you can try to dedicate all your resources to 1 or 2 really, really good teams like Prof, for example. Prof dedicates pretty much all his resources to hybrids, and he's running one of the best teams in the game. He's a really good example of what you should be doing with your Chrono Crystals. So in terms of the question specifically, it depends on your team. So if you love Super Saiyans, you love Bardock, and it's your best team, there's nothing wrong with investing in getting Bardock going, because we know for a fact that any new Super Saiyans down the line are going to just make his team even better. If androids is your best team, like for Nas here, he really likes running androids, then 18 is a good choice, or female warriors. So, or maybe you don't care about either of those guys and you just try to maximize what you can pull with your Chrono Crystals, then step ups.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think a counterpoint to the whole like focus on one team thing is that's only really viable if you want to be competitive and like play PvP competitively and like try and get the highest rank you can possibly get. And I know a lot of people don't play the game like that. So if you're somebody who just wants to collect like your favorite characters, then that's what I would recommend. Like step ups are probably the best value for your crystals. So if you're somebody who just was like, okay, yeah, I'd rather just treat this as a game where I'm just gonna pull on like banners that have my favorite characters, and then whatever I end up getting. That's a viable way to play. But I think, yeah, if you want to play the game to where it gives you the best chance to have a competitive team in PvP, then you should probably just focus on like one team or one tag, and pull on the banners that feature characters belonging to that tag.
And then I had a little thing to add just for Aaron specifically himself to help him make up his mind. If you don't already have the 16 pretty well off, like Z6-ish range, or at least Z3 or higher, and you don't have your new red cell with the double endurance come back to life mechanic and Majin 21, then I would probably skip the 18 for right now, for you specifically, because if you don't have all the other core parts of that team already assembled, there's no real reason for you to go in hard on the Zenkai 18 right now specifically. So probably would wait on that and consider Bardock, or saving for Black Friday is honestly a great choice right now because we know it's coming.
All right. So the next question is from It's Shaft Time, and I think we've all been there. If you guys could create a new tag on the game, what would it be called, and what characters would it consist of?
Oh, wow.
Dragon Ball Animals, and you'd have the Trio to Danger.
I think Toon in the chat wrote Dragon Ball Zoo.
Dragon Ball Zoo sounds pretty sick, I have to admit, because you could have the giant Z, and there's 2 little O. I do like that too.
Dragon Ball Zoo, you got the Trio of the Dangers, you got freaking Beerus in there, will be perfect.
The president of Earth.
Yeah,
he's
there you go.
Creature.
Well, it's a tag that exists, but it's not being used. But I want to see Cell Saga units.
I agree too.
To expand on that, not even Cell specifically, but if they started paying some attention to all the chronological sagas. Like they tried with the Feet Q and the LF Piccolo and the Raditz banner, like those units kind of are meant to be run with that saga. They work best with that saga. You could still use them outside of it, but they have that multi-functionality. So if they went back in, like I would love them to do like some unity for the Majin Buu saga, so that you could like more viably run a team that's comprised of nothing but Majin Buu and maybe Hero Hercule, because he buffs all the Majin Buus in the game. So like that stuff is fun to run right now, but it's not really viable or competitive. So if they could actually put some effort into, making the sub builds of the different eras of the show a little cohesive and relevant, I would love that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if they have like a dark, I don't know if I should consider like dark key or like dark aura as like a tag, because like to this day I still want like Mirror and Toa to be in the game. So like to have like those. Well, no, because I guess technically they'd also. Well, no, because I don't know if they count as Majin either. But
what about Demon Realm?
I hope you guys think
from the Demon Realm?
You said what?
I said, aren't they from the Demon Realm? Couldn't they do like a Demon Realm tag
Oh
for them?
yeah, that's right. I'm tripping.
Or would they be on Powerful Opponent?
Well, that too. That could be their sub tag, but like Demon Realm and Powerful Opponent or something.
Yeah, and then finally can give like Deborah a freaking tag. So yeah, it all works out.
One I see tossed around a lot is a lot of people want to see a Heroes tag from Dragon Ball Heroes, not the Hero tag.
We need to start getting those units first.
Don't open that floodgate for me, bro. There's already Mechacabra, Golden Cooler, dang,
Super Saiyan 3 Adult Trunks.
Yeah,
so,
3 and 4. No. Okay, yeah, you open the floodgate for me, bro.
All right, let's contain that. So we have a couple more questions. The next one is, which extreme Zenkai do you want to see the most? And I'm just gonna start off by saying Toku Sentai Ginyu Force.
Yeah,
Broly.
They would be the most relevant. I have to second that.
Just Zenkai Broly. Why not? Just do it.
But yeah,
I want to see Whis, but who am I?
Oh
These are all
god,
good
yeah.
choices
Honestly,
so far.
God Key and Future needed more buffs.
those are all good choices, though.
I mean, I gotta go ahead and say the ultimate Chaozu.
There you
I
go.
literally thought you were gonna say the yellow second stage Frieza.
I mean, yeah, I would like him. Realistically, yeah, but for the meme factor, it would be Chaozu.
Just trying to break the meta. Of this
I don't
guy
think
over
it'd be a
here.
meme anymore. You can almost take the Super Warrior team seriously.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, yo, super meme, give it to Yamcha, bro.
Not only
Well,
that,
because-
but he would build very well with the new EX Nappa, because Nappa also has another self-destruct related buff that he gives out too. Not only his defense of it, but he does something. He buffs self-destruct damage.
I can just envision the title of my video now. The actual ultimate Chaozu is here.
Rip everybody else.
What about you, Brad?
I mean, I probably want to say Broly, but I also wouldn't mind Nail. I think Nail would be a cool one, but is Nail popular enough to be a Zenkai? I don't know about that.
Oh, he's
That's the
gonna get it,
problem.
and that would actually be really good. Yeah, I think Nail would be great.
Yeah.
Well, because he's still pretty solid. Like, really and truthfully, if you have like a Z3 and up Boo, it's doable with Nail. If you got like a 9-10 star, he 100% hangs in there, and he does a lot of things for the team. So
He
I'd
nukes
probably
like
either-
hell with his blue card.
I'm looking at the list right now, and I never saw Super Janemba get gameplay. I want to see that yellow Super Janemba make
That
some action.
Yeah,
could be
he
a good move if
released
he's
and he
movies
was
based.
subpar
I'd be
on
down.
release.
I think he's movie no, isn't he like supposed to be yellow green?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, he's yellow green.
Yeah, he's-
So I'd like to see them to come back to this unit. They are pushing, these color-based teams. I feel like it might be a good time for him to come back.
what about Chilled? What about EX Chilled?
No,
Or LOE?
No,
You don't want that, bro?
He
What's
doesn't like
the
Chilled.
passion?
Chilled is the most doo-doo member of LOE.
yeah. Okay,
Please,
so
I don't like Chilled as a character, but we're talking team viability here.
I was like,
I'm
all
thinking, the actual one that I want to see the most is probably Mercenary Tao. Just because Dragon Ball doesn't get any respect at all from this game, like zero, actually zero.
He's got a good Z ability too already, as it is.
Yeah, for purple.
And Kid Ku's crying.
Bro, if he just gave crits to the Dragon Ball Saga, that'd be wild.
It's like
Yeah,
Dragon Ball
Mercenary
Saga
Tao-
Bardock.
They could do Mercenary Tao some more justice too by releasing his cyborg form too. He could get a transforming version too.
true.
Where he blows up into a cyborg.
Yeah.
Wait,
Because he turns into like the Terminator later in Dragon.
doesn't he just like kind of come back as a cyborg later on in a tournament?
Yeah.
I think it is mostly off screen, but regardless, He needs that representation. I want Cyborg.
And that'll be the
Jack.
revival unit. There you go. Bam. No? Oh, yeah.
I think I didn't understand everything. What? Come again? I just heard waifu.
Wait, what?
What?
He didn't say waifu.
No. See? Speak up, boy.
I said,
What did you
it's
say?
time
Can
to
you
move on to the next
Mercenary
question.
Tao's favorite waifu.
That's the most
Sounds
important
legit.
thing from this entire podcast. Versus,
I would say the people saying in the chat, Zangia would be amazing. I do agree with that.
She's
She'd be really
still
good for movies.
though.
She's solid, yeah, for sure, but she would make movies actually viable again.
Zonga would be great for sure.
I mean, to be fair, Nail is still really good too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Same to
He's
EX
still
Broly.
streaming.
bro, any of the high tier EX units that were good from year 1 and 1.5 would be great right now. Like
Oh,
we've
yeah.
listed a ton of them.
But I do kind of want the doo-doo ones to get it too. Like I really do. Like there's a lot of ones that really need it to be like they would really help their teams out a lot. Like it'd be cool.
Like that Red
EX
Krillin?
Rabbits was not one of them, but he was the pilot one, so I'm okay because the pilot. Like think back to the pilot of the original Zenkai's, the Red Goku. Like he's kind of doo doo now in comparison. So
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was not that good on release, honestly.
yeah, like let's get that out of the way with Raditz, and then let's move on to some heat after that.
Yeah, like she saw me.
I'm down. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The goat.
The best unit in the game.
Exactly.
Bro,
All
y'all
right,
got
so-
me whenever you made his videos. I thought he was the best unit in the game for a while there.
He was for co-op.
You were so dead set on it. I was like, he must be really good, dude. And then I used him and I was like,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Now I know.
Like,
Okay, so one more question, and it's from Mist. And the question is, what unit on the GT tag or movies, since we kind of touched on that already, would you like to see get a Zenkai Awakening?
GT Goku.
The uppercut Goku from movies, please.
Purple
I agree.
Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Red Rail, though.
Vegeta.
Jesus.
We all got many different options here.
Real dough. Come on, give him the GT tag.
Does he not have the GT tag?
No, he's
He
red.
doesn't. He
Oh, no,
has the
the-
tag,
For his
just doesn't buff
ability.
it.
I thought you meant. I was like, "There's no way he doesn't."
No,
have
he
the
has
GT
the tag. It does nothing to it though. He just kind of exists with it.
Got you.
I mean,
If
Yeah,
you buff
he's
Bojack
red
could be
GT
good.
units,
No.
Oh,
The
I just
purple
saw this in the
Bojack would be
comments.
good, too.
Someone says, "What about the GT Super Saiyan Vegeta?" Ooh, that's two birds, one stone right there. GT and Super Saiyan. That would be a good one.
And,
Bardock would be
GT
happy.
Goku would be in the same boat.
I think Yellow Bojack could be interesting because, like, the movies team has Turles as like their only main blast unit. Like, no one else on the team uses blast at all. And Bojack could be a decent option to pair alongside him.
And he
you
hits
could go, yeah,
Any
and then you
character
can
with
go
the green
yellow,
bubble
yellow, blue
shield is
too.
good.
That's set up with the Zenkai Broly.
Now I feel you, right? Or they can give a Zenkai Awakening to the purple Bojack, right? And his main perk is that the abilities that get nullified from Vegito Blue no longer get nullified. I'm a goat.
Bro,
My name's
I
He's
hate
the
it.
purple
You-
Bojack, and I'm out, dog. Like,
Yeah, thanks, I
I'm
hate
not
it.
going back to that.
just back to how he used to be.
That was hell on earth, dude. Debating when he's gonna swap in.
He nullifies the nullification.
Yeah,
Very
that'd be funny.
And
That's
also
like
no
a
special
total
cover
no
change,
you
eh?
moment with Spider-Man pointing back at Spider-Man.
Bro,
There
just
you
give, it to just give it to Gohan. Then you help Super Saiyans, hybrids, and movies all at once.
But that's pretty much what the red cell does, right? He nullifies the endurance nullification.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And then on top of that, heals to full. Just to add a big middle finger to it.
All right. So that's it for
Wait,
today.
I have one more question from Golden Gag.
Okay.
Did we cover? Oh wait, no, that's a Doki.
No, it's
question.
okay. I think it's okay. Like time-wise, we're good. So I would say that was the last question for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, follow us over on Twitter, on Twitch, and check out all our creators here. We will potentially go over on Twitch in about half an hour to an hour to stream some more Among Us. So stay tuned for that. Join our Discord to hang out and always be up to date when we go live, when we release videos, when we tweet. And again, check out SmartimusPrime's page and secure yourself your SSJ4 prints at a 10% discount, while at the same time supporting not just the creator of those prints, but us as a channel and helping us grow. And with that, thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, wash your hands. And if you haven't done so, check out episode 1 and 2 of the podcast here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe and leave a like. And we'll all see you next week. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Later, everybody.
Yeah.